channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. There's Dave Cackley. Welcome to Monday. And
Yeah.
it's an overlooked holiday, which we haven't talked about ever in the past. Something is I was toiling away over the weekend, which I do because I work weekends. You go from house to
I
house
get 'em
looking for
off.
food, booze,
Yeah.
different things that you do, and which is fine. You know, you do you, right? Me, nose to the grindstone all weekend long,
Of course.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm doing my duties for the weekend and whatnot, I discovered that today is actually National Curmudgeon Day. And the way you behave,
Interesting.
I'm excited to welcome you to National Curmudgeon Day. And I hope it's the best day ever because you, of all people, sir, deserve a day to celebrate.
If I were
National Curmudgeon Day.
a curmudgeon,
Excuse me?
then I would. If I were, I'm just the opposite of that.
Well, you're kind of
I'm
curmudgeon.
Mr. Upbeat.
No,
I'm
you're
Mr. Upbeat. No, I see things as they are, but I'm optimistic overall.
Okay.
Because to me this isn't all the be all end all. So
Right.
if you have that mindset and you kind of look at a lot of what you see, while it can be serious, a lot of it's just kind of silly, and you kind of go through life. I see myself as kind of like walking between the raindrops. I don't get impacted by much.
Okay.
I talk about stuff that I think is important, but I don't. I'm not a curmudgeon at all.
Okay. Well, maybe I've read the thing wrong after 20 years.
I think you have.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. I've been married to you longer than my wife, and God knows I wouldn't notice any personality, in you.
I've got quirks. I've definitely got quirks, idiosyncrasies, whatever you want to call them.
Hey, I want to point something out. Did you notice how you got quirks right?
Mm-hmm. Don't do it.
Seriously, you put the Q and the U together just right. That was amazing. In quirk. Say that with quarter.
Okay, we're gonna
quickly
not do that. We're not gonna do that today.
You can do it.
It's not that,
you can do it, Duffy Moon. If you remember back in the days of the after school special.
Duffy. I think like 4 people got that reference. But it was worth it. Honestly, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you that. You pulled a Duffy Moon out of your ass.
Yes, I did.
On a Monday.
So anyway, I think there's one thing to talk about, and that's, of course, the big game yesterday.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And you don't get this as a non-sports fan.
I'm not a non-sports fan.
This is the one. Like you're naturally more empathetic than I am, just in general. I don't have I've said this before. I'm really good at sympathy. I'm not good at empathy.
Mm-hmm.
But as a Dallas Cowboy fan who's seen a lot of success and failure, I adopted the Lions for a good portion of this year. I liked them. I like their coach. I like the way they play.
Yeah.
I like the new organization. I like everything about them. And that loss was a gut punch.
It was tough.
I felt physically ill. I had a hard time sleeping last night. I can't imagine what diehard Lions fans are going. I mean, I felt their physical pain because I was emotionally invested in that, and they had it, and it just slipped through. You had it, and then it was gone. And you're that close, even though you're young, you've overachieved, you've done more than anybody expected, but you were that close to tasting what that city and that team had never, ever, ever even sniffed.
Yeah. Hey,
and
I get it. And you know what? I can be very what's the word I'm gonna look for? I can be empathetic because I get it, right? I am not a football fan. I will never be a football fan. It's just it ain't my thing.
Right.
Be that as it may. I genuinely appreciate the season. I think that the fans had a great time with it. I think that's awesome. I hope that this is a turning point for the ownership of that team because let's get right down to it. The Lions have been how the Lions have been for so
Right.
long because the ownership is happy selling beer and T-shirts and pom poms
Mhm.
and all that bullshit. There's just no arguing that whatsoever. This guy, Dan Campbell, good for him. He motivated these guys. He got them through. We've worked with a personality like this, you and me, both. It's difficult.
Like Dan Campbell?
Yeah, and you know who I'm talking about.
I've never listened. I've never worked with
we've
anybody
worked with,
who
yes,
cares.
you have.
No,
Think
because I
about-
think you can't compare Dan to. You're not comparing Dan to the other D.
Yeah.
No. Oh my God, you couldn't be further from
Off
the truth.
camera,
This guy.
I'll bet you anything that
No. Oh my God, you're
there's an
off
intimidation factor.
No, he's a big dude.
Yep.
He This guy genuinely cares about because he
All right,
was
fair
them.
enough. I'll give you
He's
that.
not a
With the
failed-
exception of
He's
that,
not a. Okay.
with the exception of
No,
the
there-
genuine caring, you've worked with somebody that's that heavy when it comes to my way or the highway.
But he's not a my way or the high. He says, "I trust me." He says, "Trust me." Like you haven't seen these interviews. You haven't watched
Okay,
what I've
all right,
watched
well,
because
fair enough.
you're again you're kind of removed from this. You're seeing it at a distance. I've seen it over these past 3 years. You can't. I've seen him in interviews. He's such an emotion. Wears his emotion on his sleeve. He's
Right.
such for an alpha dog. He's one of these alpha dogs who has that sensitive that it's almost the cliche, the big sensitive guy,
Yeah.
but still the tough, hard ass Metallica
right.
fan. And that's just him.
Okay.
And him talking about how proud he is of his players and how much he hurt for. I mean, you can feel it. And that's why when you hear people talk a little bit about NFL being scripted, that's the latest stupid conspiracy theory. NFL being scripted. Oh, it's going to be San Francisco and the Baltimore Ravens because they had these banners. It was like one of those. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea what you're talking about. This is not professional wrestling. Okay, this is the last great drama we have because it's real and it matters more than it should. That's the thing. Is like if you're as a sports fan, if you've ever like held on to a team throughout thick and thin during a season from your childhood through your adulthood, this is the one thing that you kind of carry with you from childhood for the most part. A lot and dads pass it down to their sons and grandsons and all that. And you can't explain why it matters as much as it does, but it does.
All right.
And it's
fair enough.
real.
We get
It's real.
I
don't think you really do, though.
Here's the
I
thing.
don't.
What I'm trying to avoid is a 15-minute dissertation on football again, because you do that a lot, and which is fair. All right, so we're just trying to shorten it up a little bit. Everybody gets that, right? But
some people do.
Okay.
Others don't.
fair enough. But nonetheless, I'm happy for the Lions. Congratulations. Happy for their fans. I am big enough to admit that if you're a fan, this is exactly what you've been waiting for, and hopefully next year they punch their ticket.
It's going to be tough, but they are young. They're primed. They got the right organization in play. You talk about the ownership. I'm talking about the people under the ownership, the general manager, the player personnel people, guys who know what the hell they're doing.
It kind of feels to me like in Major League, where you've got the ownership who doesn't give a rat's ass, and then you've got the team that comes in and says, look, we've got one choice. We got to go win this whole thing.
And I think
they're
going to get more. They're going to get other shots. This was not a one-shot deal, and we shall see how it happens. That was going to be my third story. We'll just get in. Might as well just get into it. Gut-wrenching loss, of course, for the Lions.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
It was an AFE rerun last night, by the way.
Oh,
but it was the Halloween one.
No,
it was good.
No, dude, you can't. Okay, I hope you checked your Facebook about.
I will tell you
the
this.
Cookies.
I will tell you
the cookies
this.
you hopefully made for all of us.
I will tell you this. It was a difficult night watching AFE because my Roku on TV, I think it was TV 5 downstairs. It really was having problems. So
you weren't really watching that, were you?
Yeah.
You weren't. Tell me.
Seriously.
You weren't watching.
I went right
that while the
downstairs to
game
watch
was
AFE
on.
at 7 o'clock.
Well, while your wife was watching the football game.
Well, her dad came over too.
Well, your wife was watching it.
Well, her dad came over too.
Her dad came over,
and they were
you're like, I'm going to go down and watch.
They were doing what football
AFC.
fans do,
Yes.
which annoys the shit out of me, which
Oh,
is,
jeez.
talking about every play and every commercial and every back
That's
and forth. Yeah, it's like, okay, good. AFV's on. I'm going downstairs
okay.
after my shower. So I did all that.
Oh, God.
And anyway, but back to the Roku story. My Roku needed to be rebooted because about every 6 to 8 minutes it would go dead. And Dave, let me tell you something about this. That's a stressful moment. That is some anguish when you're trying to enjoy things like Halloween videos and some fun. Although I will say that there were quite a few little dogs and we talked about little dogs last week. Not so much. We just don't need tiny dogs
Just can't.
on
Can't.
on AFE. But anyway, your story. Go right ahead.
Oh, God. Gut-wrenching loss for the Lions in Frisco. 49ers coming back from 17 down at the half to outlast Detroit 34-31. We talked about an incredible game, incredible season. It sucks. Again, the ending made me physically ill,
Oh,
but an incredible season. Future in Motown's bright.
so bright.
They
I
were the
have to wear
fourth
shades.
best. They were the fourth. They were the fourth best team coming into the weekend. They didn't play like it. And they lost to the team that is going to win the Super Bowl.
I
San
will say
Francisco
this.
is going to take down the Kansas City Taylor Swifts. That party is over. Although I do think Taylor did the reverse Yoko, getting them back to the Super Bowl when it looked like everything was crashing and burning from the time her and old Travis hooked up.
I will say
But
this.
Kansas City upsets Baltimore 17-10.
I noticed remarkable similarities in the second half of both games because the Ravens kind of fell apart. Although I will say the Ravens look like a bunch of criminals because they were really not all that sportsmanlike. They were. There's a reason they call them the Dirty Birds, right?
No, they don't call them the Dirty Birds, but
I
that
thought
was
they
the
did.
Atlanta Falcons, and
Okay,
that was
well,
the
now
Atlanta
it's the
Falcons
Ravens.
in the late '90s.
I have just turned it into the Ravens. They are the Dirty Birds. They were
But-
very unsportsmanlike. I was disappointed.
Seriously, you never sound more
Dirty.
like a girl than when you try to talk about
Well, I'm telling you right now,
football
they,
and
they did not look.
just saying.
They did not look like a very well-rounded bunch of football players.
bunch
Not
of
very
young men.
gentlemanly.
Okay.
And the Lions in the second
Moving
half,
on.
the wheels fell off their cart too.
It was.
I will say
A lot
of
of
the two
people
games, they
putting-
both look kind of the same in the second half.
They were completely different. I mean, both games
Okay.
were great games overall.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of criticism at Dan Campbell for his fourth down decisions. You did that during the season. It worked out. If you don't do it, it's why aren't you doing what got you here?
I get it.
So you can't win. You can't win for losing. Sometimes I think he was making the right decisions. It was the wrong outcome. Dropped passes.
You know what
Just
they call
didn't get
that?
it done.
You know what they call that in some circles? Life on life's terms.
And there you go.
And
Hey,
you
you know
have
what?
to learn
Actually,
to
that's
live
well said.
Yeah, of course.
Well
it is.
said.
Thank you.
That's very astute. There you go. Look at you. All
I'm
right.
the brains. You're
The
the look.
U.S. The U.S. is in talks with Iraq in regard to ending combat missions against ISIS. The U.S. has been engaged in battles against the Islamic terrorist group since 2014. Iraq is in the process of negotiating a reduction of coalition forces in the region. Probably a good idea. We can't be everyone's parent when it comes to this stuff. So less of us in that area of the world might be best for all considered. I think I may be wrong on that. I'm obviously not an international expert on foreign relations, but might want to think about pulling out of some of these affairs.
There you have
Just
it.
throwing it out there. Finally, it's costing more to insure your vehicle. Car prices have climbed in recent years. Insurance has skyrocketed along with it, 36% going up since 2020, already 20% just the last 12 months. Average insurance per vehicle is around $2,500 per year. So that's what
I guess
that's a little much for me. My Avenger doesn't cost that much.
What is your
Of course,
insurance?
it's got 250. That's a good question. I think it's probably about half that,
Is it?
maybe a little more than half that.
No.
So
I don't know. I pay mine by the month, and my life insurance, and which trust me, that's the life insurance. That's the scratching lottery ticket that is the guaranteed win, right? That's that that's the payoff, right? That's the one that
Oh
makes sure
man.
everything's okay. Just
But you
saying.
don't get to enjoy it. You get it, and then you don't get to enjoy it. You're having, oh, great.
I'm
Yeah,
not
you
too
guys
worried
are
about
having
me.
have a lot of fun with 150K or 50,000 or 10,000, whatever you're going to do.
In what? Have you ever
I don't
bought
know,
life
whatever.
insurance for a wife?
No.
You ain't getting away with 10K, pal. I'm going to tell you that right
Oh, okay.
We're talking more like $250,000 just to be on the
Oh,
safe
okay.
side.
There you go.
So anyway,
Well, I just got Max because I don't want to leave Max too much because then
right?
what that can do to a young kid. I figure he'll be about in his 20s or 30s, and I'm
Let me tell you
like,
something. Here we are, trophy wifing. You're paying off houses if you kick off. That's how that works. Okay.
wow.
So anyway, between that and the two vehicle and the truck for the station, I think it's $300 a month.
Good Lord.
Fair enough.
All right. Rest of sports, of course, Kansas City upsets Baltimore 17-10. So Super Bowl 58 is set. February 11th, it's Frisco against the Kansas City Swifties, and San Francisco 2.5-point favorite. I would roll with San Francisco in this one. They just feel like a team of destiny. Brock Purdy, a good kid. Quarterback, much maligned for some unknown reason, just because he was the last player picked in the draft a year ago. So I like San Francisco. I would say if you're a Lion fan, put your money on the team that beat you. And hey, you may be able to get your 250K back.
All right.
Just saying. I'm really good at investing other people's money.
Of course you
That's
are.
not mine.
And drinking their beer and eating their food. And,
yes. Well,
using their hot tubs.
I'm always Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Best hot tub guest ever. Just throwing it out there.
That's right.
Just
and
saying.
My job of presenting your ass juice in my hot tub.
If you have a hot tub,
I am.
And you want a good,
you know what I am?
Friendly person to hang out with.
I got the certificate in the mail over the weekend. I am now a member of the Knights Templar, guarding that hot tub from you.
Oh, jeez.
That's how strong I am. Okay, seriously.
Again, I'm just gonna say I'm the best hot tub guest ever.
Okay.
I would even bring some beverages.
Really?
And glasses if you need extra dishware if you need it.
Wow, amazing.
A couple bottles or whatever. I know I could get you an O'Doul's. I would enjoy a couple of Jamesons. Just saying.
What a thrill.
Throw it out there.
And then you drive home, and I would call the cops as soon as you turn out of the drive.
No. I'd have to sleep on the couch.
Jeopardy 200. That's grand. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Since 1925, the showcase of country music, known as the Grand Ole Opry, has been broadcast from this city.
That would be Nashville, Tennessee.
$200 $3 for you today. What a 48,000 in the hole. Makes you feel good when you get a freebie on a Monday, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's the best. It's a way to lick your wounds after a tough defeat.
Or a window.
There you go.
Think about that.
Good for you.
Have yourself a great. That felt good. The window liquor joke.
I know it did for you. Uh-huh.
See ya.
See ya.
Happy Monday, Muskegon. A wintry mix will move in Monday night into Tuesday, but little to no snow accumulation is expected. So let's take a look at your forecast brought to you by Trinity Health. Like I said, we will have a wintry mix move through Monday night, especially around 4 a.m. on Tuesday, lasting into Tuesday morning. But we're not expecting much, if any, snow accumulation out of that. And then we will stay mostly cloudy this week as well until this weekend, when mostly sunny skies will be possible. But in the meantime, temperatures generally will be a little bit cooler than originally thought, likely staying in the upper 30s to low 40s. So this is Tuesday at 4 a.m. and you can see a band of wintry mix moving through the region. North of Muskegon will primarily be snow. Muskegon along I-96 will be a wintry mix, and then further south you go will mostly be rain. So we're not expecting really any snow accumulation here in Muskegon, but it will likely have some snowflakes during the early morning commute on Tuesday. But for your Monday, we're expected to stay dry with mostly cloudy skies with a high of 38. A low of 34 with that wintry mix moving in late in the night as well into the morning hours. And then the winds will be out of the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And really, for the rest of the week, that's pretty much the only precipitation chance we have. We'll likely stay drier than normal going into early February, with temperatures generally staying around 40 degrees, which is slightly above normal for this time of year as well. And it looks like this weekend could see some sunshine as well, so that's something to definitely look forward to. And that is your Monday forecast, brought to you by Trinity Health on the Muskegon Channel, and I'm Cole Woods Weather, and have a great week.